According to WTOP News, amid the Thanksgiving travel rush, the Reagan National Airport set a record for a number of guns caught at security checkpoints. And according to a bunch of other news stories, this is a nationwide trend. So let's quickly just go over what you should or should not do when you are flying with your firearm. All right, so I've talked about this a couple of times. It was on that old TikTok account that got deleted, and I may even have something buried here at YouTube. But with the articles and news references that have been coming up about people still getting hit at checkpoints, just figured it would be a good time to talk about it with the travel season coming up for the wintertime. So, and a lot of new gun owners. So the first thing we need to say is, do not approach the security checkpoint with your firearm in your bag. That can incur civil penalties, I think up to $15,000 or something like that. It can go on your record. I have had instances of having ammo in my bags because I used to use the same bags for the range that I would travel with. And so I stopped doing that practice because there would be like 1 or 2 rounds that I just missed when I cleaned the bag out. And they do record those events. And if too many of them happen, you can still get in trouble. And I'm telling you that from my own experience. So make sure you sanitize your bags. Don't take your firearms. Don't take your ammo. None of that can go on the plane. That is the first rule of thumb to start with. Next, let's just go into something that'll help you kind of remember how to travel with your firearm, and that is safe passage laws. The safe passage laws basically apply to all your interstate travel with your firearms, and if you have an idea of it, it'll also help you remember it whether you're on a plane, on a train, or an automobile. It is the same the whole time, and this is concealed carry permits notwithstanding. We're just talking about transporting firearms. So Title 18 U.S. Code 926A says, notwithstanding any other provision of any law or any rule or regulation of a state or any political subdivision thereof, any person who is not otherwise prohibited by this chapter from transporting, shipping, or receiving a firearm shall be entitled to transport a firearm for any lawful purpose from any place where he may lawfully possess and carry such a firearm to any other place where he may lawfully possess and carry such a firearm, if during such transportation the firearm is unloaded and neither the firearm nor any ammunition being transported is readily accessible or is directly accessible from the passenger compartment of such transporting vehicle, provided that in the case of vehicle without a compartment separate from the driver's compartment, the firearm or ammunition shall be contained in a locked container other than the glove compartment or console. So that is how you have to transport it. So if you are going on the plane, you couldn't take it on the plane because it'll be readily accessible to you. You have to check it, and it'll be in essentially the trunk or the belly of the plane. So that is kind of an overarching law that as long as you're thinking about that when you're transporting, that'll kind of keep you safe. So the safe passage laws will cover you for transit from wherever you are to wherever you're going. And that is why the next thing is one of the most important things. Always know the laws of where you're going to end up or where you may reside on the way, because those are the laws you're going to have to go by when you're there. Before we go to the airport, we need to know how to pack our firearms. Pretty simple. All right, we're going down here. Firearms must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided container and transported as checked baggage only, as defined by Chapter 49 of the CFR. A loaded firearm has a live round of ammunition or any component thereof in the chamber or cylinder, or a magazine inserted into a firearm. So that constitutes loaded. Furthermore, for civil enforcement purposes, TSA considers a firearm to be loaded when both the firearm and the ammunition are readily accessible to the person. So if you have a firearm in a bag and ammo in your pocket, as far as TSA is concerned, that's a loaded firearm. So do not approach a checkpoint in that fashion. So let's get back to how we should pack our guns, okay? Only the passenger should retain the key or combination to the lock unless TSA personnel request the key to open the firearm container to ensure compliance with TSA regulations. You may use any brand or type of lock to secure your firearm case, including TSA recognized locks. That is another argument or discussion that I've had with several people. They say you can only use TSA approved locks on your firearms case. That is not the truth. There's the truth for you. You can use any kind of locks you want. Only you should have the key. And we'll talk about TSA and how they inspect it and once you check it in. Again, bringing an unloaded firearm with accessible ammunition to the security checkpoint carries the same civil penalty as bringing a loaded firearm to the checkpoint. So that is the part that we're trying to avoid. That is what happened over Thanksgiving weekend. So now we know how we have to pack our guns. Our guns have to be in a locked, hard-sided case. Our guns have to be unloaded, and that's it. For example, if I'm taking just personal, I'll do another video on, I've got a bunch of cases that I use. It just depends on what I'm doing. But if I'm just taking my concealed carry stuff, I'll use one of these. This is particular brand is Vaultek. And this will hold 2 full-size firearms and 2 magazines each, about something like that. But this is enough so that I can travel with it, and it also holds other stuff in it too. But this would be a locked, hard-sided case. Now, this I don't think constitutes something large enough to be checked baggage. So you can take this case and put it into your checked baggage. So you would put your firearms in this, lock it. It has locks and a pad to put your code in and lock it up. And so this is locked. Okay, so the lock is already on. And now it's unlocked. Okay, so that's how that works. So we'll talk about TSA in a minute. That is how you will pack your firearm to go to the airport. Go ahead and put it in your luggage. Then when you get to the airport, you're gonna declare it to the agent. Now this is where I've had a couple of different things happen. Depends on the agent. I just do what they say because as long as they're happy about it, I'm happy about it. Some agents say, is that the case? I say, yes. Is it locked? And I show them, they say 10-4. Some people want to see the gun. I don't know why. Maybe they just like guns, so they ask me to open it, because some of them want to verify that it's not loaded. I think some wouldn't even know if it was loaded or not, so they don't ask me to open it. So some ask to open it, they want to verify whatever they want to verify, fine with me. Then I'll close it, lock it. Before we go any further, you're going to fill this out, and it's not even much to fill out. You are going to sign it and date it, and they're going to put their office tracking number on it or whatever number they have to put on it. Then they're going to ask you to put this either in the case or in the luggage with the case. And then put it back in the luggage. Once I put it in the luggage, we'll take this, lay it on top of it. And that's it. That's the whole declaration process. And it happens pretty much that quickly. And just throw it in your bag and you are good to go. Now, this part also varies, depends on the airport. And this is why this is the part I was gonna talk about, them not needing the key to get into whatever it is you're using. So for instance, at Reagan National, again, I fly Delta all the time. They have us walk our baggage over to the X-ray section because it's right next to the ticket counter. And then you stand there and wait for the guy to give you the thumbs up, and then you're good to go. When I travel through Albuquerque, their X-ray is somewhere else. So they tell you to stand by and wait for us to tell you that you're good to go. Usually takes about 5 minutes, depending on how much luggage they have to go through. And being familiar with X-ray images, I'm pretty sure all they look to see is that they can tell from an X-ray image if the gun is loaded or not. So they want to see that the ammo's separate, the gun is not loaded, and it's in the case. And you can tell that from an X-ray image. So once they look at that, they don't need a key to open up your case. That is why you don't need to have TSA approved locks on your case. So just to avoid any confusion really quick, something like this would constitute, this is big enough to be checked. And I have checked it before. So like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video on bags and stuff like that. But this would be big enough to be checked. So this is what we're talking about, where these tabs would have to have padlocks on them. This has to be a lock, and this would be a locked hard-sided case. Your firearms would be inside, and you can check this as a piece of luggage. It would count towards your luggage allotment. Or you can have this size and have this inside your luggage and check the luggage piece. So either that case can be locked inside a piece of luggage, or this can be the actual luggage and this would need to be locked, okay? And I usually use padlocks on both sides, and that's that. So now we have our bag checked. It's on the plane. We're good. We're flying. We're flying. We're flying. They transfer the bags as any others would get transferred. Once we land, the trick now is we're going to go to the airline's office where they accept the specialty bags, oversized bags, and stuff like that. And your bag is going to get hand delivered there. It should not come up on the carousel. I have seen it happen. It has happened to me a couple of times, but it should not come up on the carousel at all. It should go straight to the office. Some airlines now have zip tied the luggage so you can't get right to the gun, but it should go straight to the office. You go to the office, show your ID, pick your bag up, good to go. So that is the whole process from start to finish, and it does not include going to the checkpoint with your firearm. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I will love to answer them, and some of them usually give me ideas for future videos. If you enjoyed yourself, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. And with that being said, the Gun Brothers out. I will talk to you guys soon. Travel safe for the holiday.